One of the problems that I hear about spouses with regards to arguments is being kicked out of the bed. You should never kick your spouse out of the bed. I don't care what your excuse is, even if you've caught them cheating. You are not supposed to kick them out of the bed. You're not supposed to go to bed angry. I know that's easier said than done, but there are rules that God has placed on this for a reason. Um, because marriage is so sacred, you are not to defile the bed. Now, I understand not sleeping with your husband or your wife if you know that they've been cheating and they've caught an STD. You're not supposed to risk your health like that. That I get. However, kicking them out of the bed or the house is unacceptable. You should never ever do this. In fact, our state, Michigan, has laws that say that if you're married to someone, you can't even keep them out of the house. They call the police and they're married. The police have to let them in the door because that's your spouse. That's the law in the state of Michigan. And I agree with that. You should never put your spouse out of the house. Now, if there's domestic violence involved, then they should leave or go to jail, depending on what the circumstance calls for. However, when that's not an issue, you do not put your husband or your wife on the couch and kick them out of your bed. That is a no-no. And for me to hear all of these people laugh about that and think that it's funny, I'm just sitting here going, oh my goodness. Because, actually I did that too to boyfriends, but I'm going to tell you, those are not for you. People that behave like that are either not mature enough to be married and you guys need to take a break, or there's such bad problems, maybe you should talk to your pastor and get some counseling. Because any good pastor, chaplain, or bishop will tell you that when you've said your vows and you've got your covenant with God, you're not supposed to leave your bed. Unless you're going on a business trip or something like that, it's not okay for you to kick your spouse out. I don't care how mad you get at them. If it was me, I would try to make a plan with my spouse. Like, okay, I'm getting too upset here. Here's what we do so we can walk away from each other until we can cool off. But you never go to bed angry. And even if you have to stay up all night and talk it out, you're supposed to do that. There's just anything you can do to avoid going out and committing adultery or just hating on each other, gossiping, or any of that that's against the word. You should try to keep a hold to. It's not always easy. There are going to be times when you don't want to keep it inside and you want to talk to somebody, and that's okay, but you guys should have a designated person that you talk to that knows the whole of the situation, just so we're all on the same page, because you don't want the whole neighborhood knowing your business. And the only reason I told any of mine was because my mom and my grandmother and my aunt were murdered, and I felt that in my situation it was pertinent because it was documented that I'm married to James. And so for me to sit here and to continue to not tell the truth about it could be something that might cost in the end with regards to catching my mother, my aunt's murder, or my grandmother's. Because we've got someone going around here who's, and I'm not saying it's the same person, but it's awfully suspicious all of this has happened to our family. So, and that's an even more reason for you to not want to defile the bed, is because of knowing circumstances like mine. You don't know when God's going to call you home. And so you have to live each day like it's your last, knowing that you can be called home any day because tomorrow's not promised. This is why I'm so aggressive about telling people, hey, it's time for change, because this type of behavior is some of the things that cause domestic violence. And I want to spend my time trying to do everything I can to combat that for the sake of the children, so that we can leave what we have here on this earth in a better position than what we found it in, for the sake of our kids. With God's love. God bless America. Have a blessed day.